Okay, so now that we have our audio and everything downloaded on our hard drive, the MP3 file that you saved to your hard drive, along with your WAV file that you will use as a backup, you can, by the way, make sure that it's not over 200 megs. Not allowed to be more than 200 megs. So that's one reason why I recommend MP3 to upload and just use WAV as a backup, because you can always convert. But the thing is, with MP3, it's a tighter format. It's a more compatible format for uploading for podcasts. So it's smaller, compressed, and everything. So first of all, we're going to upload. So by clicking, just go back to make sure that you know where to go. So you click on here, your podcast show, and then you go over to the tab on the top left-hand side, second one in, tab, and create episode, and here is where you're going to upload your first episode. And then we go and look for it on the hard drive, and here we have it here. You can see the WAV file, for example, is 42 meg, whereas the MP3 file is only 9 for 4 minutes. So you can see that you can do a fairly large MP3 or podcast without going over the 200 megs. So then we go ahead and upload that by clicking on it. And you can see that it's 100% uploaded. Now you're back in the element where you can edit and everything again, but for this example we will not do any editing. We want to get it uploaded. We want to get out of that shiny object syndrome, procrastination, and get to taking action, so we get clear and clarity around what we're doing, putting a major spider web blanket out there on the internet. So you can just go ahead and make sure that your audio still is okay. And if you're happy with that, that will be it. We're happy with that. Don't worry about anything else here. Now, you can create a title. It is not recommended to include the season or episode number in the title. So anyway, I'll show you how I do it, and then you can decide if you want to have a show number. How I do it is being recommended by other podcasters, and it should not affect anything. So this is how we're going to write it. So you can write your title for your first podcast. And then we're going to have a dash there, and then have a space, and then we're going to put Because this is Recharge Life Podcast, I'll put RP for short. So use the letter of your podcast or the letters if it's 2 or 3 words. I encourage you not to have a podcast too long or too many words, of course. Shorter the better and more clarity. But then again, that comes around branding. So if you're not clear about branding, connect with me by going ahead to fusionsmartsystem.com and gain some clarity, and let's get your business cash flowing. And then we put the number next to that, which will be RP1. Simple as that. So that would guide the person, as that's the first podcast. And then here we will put a bit of a description. So you write your description. Okay, so once you're finished with your description, you can see that you have your Recharge Life is your show. You can have images for your show, but just recommend keeping it simple. Don't worry about any more images for each show. Just stick to the main cover art is my recommendation until at least you have a number of shows and you are really taking positive, great action. Type, it's a full show. Of course, you can have trailer and bonus. So in this case, we're going to choose full show. You can swipe over there to see what it means for each function. Of course, we're sticking to season 1, and it will always be that. And this is episode 1. And then you can put some tags here. You can have multiple tags, can be separated by a comma. And they will go into the podcast system as your keyword target keywords. Okay, so we've gone ahead and created our keywords, our tags. So put all the tags that connect to your target audience, your brand and your values. And then you put a URL in here, change the default URL. I recommend not doing that. Just let's get taking action. Seems that it is optimal. It is optional to have a custom URL. And then you can go ahead and for the rating, unrated, clean or explicit. I recommend, as long as it's not explicit, to have it as clean. So therefore families can know that your content is being approved as okay, as clean, rather than unrated where they can have doubts. And then you want to have your normalizer. We already defaulted that when we were creating our show for 16 LUFs. So we'll keep it to that. And then go ahead and create, schedule it. You can release it at a different time. I recommend taking action and going with the default time, or the time that it is at the time here. So I'm going to go with 8:30. I'm going to go with 8:30 p.m. Actually, I will default it for 5 minutes time. So I recommend giving it, scheduling it about 5 minutes ahead, or a few minutes ahead anyway. So it gives everything, technology, time to do what it wants to do. Now we go ahead and press create. And we'll come back in 5 minutes when this turns from offline to online. Okay, so now our first podcast is uploaded. So it's live now, and you can see that it's live and you can hear it's live. And over here on the right hand side, you can see that if you made any errors or you want to change the title of that podcast episode, you can go ahead and click edit. We won't go into create highlights, but also later on we'll show you how to embed in your blog. And so you can embed, and you can open. So we'll open our episode page so you can have a look at what it looks like. And that's how our podcast looks. Welcome to Recharge Life Podcasts. You can see that you'll see your description up here, and a bit about the details and the topic that you're discussing, and you can go ahead and make sure everything is working. And of course, people can subscribe to your link there if you're sharing that link out. Later on, in further videos, we'll show you how to embed that into your blog. That's about it for now. Of course, you can copy your audio URL and copy the episode URL as well, or you can send it offline or delete. But of course, we're going to take action and overcome shiny object syndrome. So the next step in the next video, we will share how to get on the main satellite, the main big podcast transmitting satellite, which is Apple Podcasts, and how to get approved, and what you need to do to get approved. So watch the next episode. It'll be very important piece of the puzzle, and grateful to be with you on this journey.